Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene, presented by Bricktown Brewery, here at Bricktown Brewery in South Tulsa. And it's a rowdy crowd here tonight.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they are really ready to party. It's Monday night.
Our TPS Athletic Director, Gil Cloud, joining me, along with Chris Lincoln here. Got you with us for Oklahoma Sportscene. Another busy show for you here. Of course, everybody's talking about the NFL Draft, Coach.
NFL Draft coming up, and we're excited about the NFL Draft and the effect it'll have in Oklahoma. But we'll have Gene Barrett, a 9-year veteran of the National Football League, who was drafted in the 9th round and has a very interesting story about how his draft went and how it goes today.
He was, by the way, a feeling we really appreciate him helping us out, by the way. Jerry Ostrowski, the Big O, was a late scratch for some personal reasons. We'll have O back on the show some other time here for us. And Clay Martin, what an interesting story. Here's our Jenks high school basketball coach, but on Sunday, he's a National Football League official, not just the official coach, he's wearing the white hat, the referee.
He's the guy that talks all the time to the fans and to the people watching on television. And he's going to talk about the preparation that they have to do those games, and it's amazing. We talk about full-time, part-time, and what I understand, he's full-time, part-time right now. But what a great opportunity for him.
We're really also pleased to welcome Craig Humphreys. Craig is the morning show host of the Oklahoma Sports Animal, WWS over there in the city. Came over from the city here to talk about the Masters. He's been there for more than 3 decades covering the Masters, but also to talk about, of course, the bet.
Craig has the bet, and Craig has won the bet, and actually he has been paid.
Jim Traber.
Jim Traber paid him, and the thing was, it was $200 that Tiger. It was the greatest bet on this planet or any other planet, and it would never happen that Tiger would win a major golf tournament, and he did. And fortunately, the $200 that he won went to the First Tee of Oklahoma City, which is a great charitable organization.
Talk Roughnecks as well. Their general manager, Mike Farmer, is going to join us, and very excited to have also their star center forward, Mallan Roberts. And they can talk about the Roughnecks home matches, including a big one Saturday. They'll be hosting Oklahoma City.
They got Oklahoma City, and I'm going to tell you that the mayors have gotten into this one.
That's right.
And the losing or tie mayor will have to wear the other jersey of the other team, and take a picture of it and in front of a landmark in their city.
Well, our TPS Hall of Famer, Larry Miller, is opening his 2nd swim school. And as you said, I don't know if anybody in Tulsa didn't learn to swim, Larry Miller.
In our pre-meeting with Larry, he talked about he thinks they've taught over 200,000 people how to swim. And what impresses me when he talks to you about it, 6 months to our age can get swim lessons. That's amazing.
It is incredible.
That's amazing.
Have more about the new Miller Swim School that's opening up in Jenks this weekend. All right, Hot Topics, Coach. NFL Draft being number 1. It's April 25th through the 27th in Nashville, Tennessee. It's become a huge media event live on ABC prime time on Thursday night. We expect the number 1 player to be taken in the draft, Kyler Murray, the Oklahoma quarterback by the Arizona Cardinals.
Kyler Murray, and it's interesting. It depends on who you look at. One of the gurus here of some say that our young man from McLean, Josh Jacobs, will go as high as 8th.
Wow.
And some say as low as 14th, but in the first round.
First running back taken.
First will be the first running back taken. So I think there's a premium this year, it appears, from what I've seen, on linemen. There's a lot of really good linemen that are out there. So I think the skill position is going to take a back seat a little bit.
OSU spring football, the Cowboys ended up with a open practice for their fans. Over 14,000 were there for the Cowboys Orange Blitz, I guess they had this past Saturday, and a great time over there. And everybody looking at the quarterbacks, talking about those right now. But 90-minute scrimmage, and Coach Gundy seems pleased with the way things went in the spring.
I think, Chris, they'll go into the summer, and the summer workouts will determine which quarterback. I felt like what we saw and what we heard was that he wasn't that impressed overall with either one of them, and nobody stepped up, I think, to make that number 1 position. That
quarterback battle is between a redshirt freshman named Spencer Sanders and that Hawaii transfer, Drew Brown. By the way, they said one of the highlights of the spring practice, though, was a 28-year-old punter who just came as a freshman from Australia, Tom Hutton. They said this guy can boom the football. They're getting a lot of Australian punters in American football.
Well, because they do. They have strong legs and they play soccer their entire life.
Yeah, and Australian rules football.
Yeah, it's Australian rules football. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Remember I told you, OU is no longer a football school. It's a gymnastics school. And Coach, we congratulate again the Oklahoma Sooner women's, their 4th national championship in Fort Worth this past weekend. They, by the way, finished with a perfect 32-0 record. And the men, they finished second in their NCAA championships in Champaign, Illinois, just edged out by Stanford in the final routine. Snapped OU's record 121 straight consecutive victories. How's that for us? Gymnastics school.
I tell you what, I think they probably ought to put a statue up outside of Coach Kedler. And,
that's right.
Because she's really done a great job. And how would that just drive you crazy? The minute numbers. They lose by 1/10 of an inch.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, I would just go nuts. But
all right, the Tulsa Oilers, they've got a challenge too.
Well, I'll tell you what, we really were excited with Rob Murray and what he'd done and everything, and they get in the playoffs. But I think this is where they're coming now, is those 5 players that they took up to the AAA Farm Club. As now the continuity is not there, and they're not performing like they did through the regular season.
They trailed 3-2 in that best-of-7 series against Kansas City. They have home ice games though Tuesday, last night, and tonight Wednesday. So hopefully the Oilers won those 2 games. We'll talk more with the Oilers hockey team about their season. Again, the show's coming up in May. Roughnecks soccer, we have they lost out in Fresno. Their record now 3-1-3. They're 4th in the West right now. They have a home match Wednesday night as our show was on the air. And then the big one Saturday we talked about, April 27th, Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City Energy, and that'll be big. And I tell you, it's that Oklahoma City-Tulsa rivalry. And of course, with the mayors being involved, it's really going to be a great night. Fireworks after the game.
And Tulsa Drillers, the Drillers are 8-8 in the second half of the Texas League season, 4 games back of Arkansas, but they now finally back home a 7-game homestand, starting with Midland Rockhounds on May 1st.
And nobody knows that better than the Roughnecks.
That's right.
Because if you don't see the Roughnecks play on the 27th, you won't see them play until June 1st, because that is a baseball facility, and they have that 7-game homestand. I tell you, it'd be great to get out. It's a great venue for baseball. It's a great venue for soccer. And they're very entertaining when you go to the park.
So it's a homestand with the Midland Rockhounds. That'll be May 1st through the 3rd. Then the Corpus Christi Hooks will come in here for Saturday, May 4th through Tuesday, May 7th. So get out there and support the Tulsa Drillers there. By the way, their infielder Omar Estevez leads the Texas League, .443 batting average. So keep an eye on him as well. We come back and we're going to have the NFL draft to talk about. We'll have a very special guest, Gene Barrett, who was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers after his TU playing days. So stay with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Have a good time with us.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
We're at the Bricktown Brewery here at 31st and Peoria in South Tulsa. This is, of course, the place for the famous Twisted Comfort Foods that we'll be telling you about throughout the show. Also, of course, this is the place for the craft beers. We got some features we want to tell you about: the Blueberry Ale, the Old King Kosh, Single String Stout, 3 guardsmen, along with Millie McFadden. Try that. And how about for us guys that like their root beer, it's the best. Attaboy Root Beer. All part of Bricktown Brewery. And don't forget to check out the daily specials. Well, it's time to talk about NFL Draft. It's the big story coming up this week, of course, and with us to help talk about that is a guy who went through that. Is the NFL Draft, former TU great player, and with the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome, Gene Barrett. Gene, good to have you with us here on Sportscene.
Thank you, Chris. Happy to be here.
Well, give us some of your background first at TU, playing there.
Well, I came out of Dallas, high school football, went to TU, played 4 years there as an offensive tackle. Unfortunately, we had 3 head coaches in 4 years. I've always been hard on head coaches. Got drafted by San Francisco in the 2nd round and was fortunate enough to be there for 9 years. I had a few coaching changes there as well, but my last 2 years I played for Bill Walsh, and it was pretty obvious that things were going to turn around at that point in time.
1992 NFL Draft. He was in the 2nd round, the 44th player overall taken. It's pretty high for an offensive lineman. Congratulations, Gene. That's great.
Yeah, I was real happy, real surprised. It wasn't like it is today. You didn't know about the draft. You didn't know what was happening. Somebody would call you and said you got drafted. I said, well, wonderful. Where do I do now?
Where am I going?
Where am I going?
Well, I tell you, that's we're kind of excited because we've got some pretty good kids from Oklahoma that are in the draft this year. Last week, I got a call from NFL Films that wanted some footage of Josh Jacobs, our former McLean All-Stater and Alabama player, and then the next day they wanted some from Justice Hill. So I think we'll have some people from Oklahoma, the Bryford, the defensive end from Oklahoma State. I think there's just some really people out there that are going to be drafted.
And obviously, Kyler Murray.
Well, Kyler Murray's number one.
Number one looks like.
Mention him probably, but.
You talked about how the draft has changed, Gene, and now, of course, it's a major television event. It's going to be on ABC Network live on Thursday night. ESPN's carried it for 30 years, covering the draft from start to finish. And again, when you were drafted, what was it like? Tell us again about how that went.
There was none of that. There was nothing. I had a sports agent from Dallas called me and said, hey, you got drafted in the 2nd round. I said, oh, you're mistaken, because I played with Ralph McGill at Tulsa, and Ralph got drafted in the 2nd round by San Francisco. He got drafted at the beginning of the 2nd round, and then I got drafted a little later on in the 2nd round. So it was kind of a bizarre situation. And then you get a telephone call from the PR department and the newspaper and radio people, and they ask you a few questions, and that's it. Next thing you know, you get something in the mail telling you to show up, and our training camp was in Santa Barbara, California, so it wasn't too bad. I was excited about that.
Well, in your career, what were some of the highlights that you had during your 9 years?
Well, that's a good question. There weren't a lot of highlights when I was at Tulsa. The best thing in the world for me when I was at Tulsa, we played a lot of really good teams. My senior year, we played, of course, Arkansas every year. We played Florida State, played Houston, played Tennessee and Knoxville. We had a great schedule, which helped me play against some really good players. When I went with San Francisco, Dick Nolan was the coach. We were in the playoffs, actually, my first year, my rookie year. Got beat out in San Francisco by the Dallas Cowboys in the last 60 seconds of the game. And I thought, oh, wow, we're going to come back next year and go to the playoffs. But that didn't work out so good. It was kind of a rough spell there until Bill Walsh came my last 2 years. And it was obvious that he was really going to do a good job. He was a great coach, put together a great team. I played 2 years with Joe Montana, his first 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, it was going to happen. Unfortunately for me, it was at the end of my career.
You hear about it all the time, the striking difference between college football and pro football. How big a gap is that for the kids?
It's a pretty big gap. Everybody says, what's the difference? And it's pretty simple. It's just speed.
Yeah.
Everybody's a lot faster. Everybody's bigger and stronger. And I'm the current, we have an Oklahoma Retired NFL Players Association here in Oklahoma, and I'm the president. And I just got back last month from Miami, where we have our leadership meetings, and some of the current players were down there. And man, those guys are so big and so fast and so strong. I said, I'm grateful I'm not playing anymore.
I tell you, we're really pleased about it. I'm glad you mentioned that, the retired players, because that money that you raise through the Golf Classic and everything goes to the high schools that deserve to have that type of funding. And I tell you, it's been a really good thing for us. I think we appreciate
the Kickoff Classic is a great event. It's going to be September 8th and 9th this year. We really think we can get close to $75,000 this year and distribute that. All that money goes straight to Oklahoma high school athletic programs, these underfunded programs that are struggling, which is just, it's not fair, it's not right. They need to have money so they can compete. We kind of look at it as a way that the retired players can pass it forward to these younger players.
Absolutely.
Can you hear about all the talk about taking care of the veteran players? And is the NFL getting better at that? And of course also the concern about the concussions and all this?
They're getting a little bit better. We'll see the collective bargaining agreement is up in a couple of years, and the retired players are at the mercy of the current players. They're the ones that make the decisions to how much money to put into the retirement fund. Currently, I'm a little long in the tooth. I'm 67. I have started taking my NFL retirement, and if I had played 9 years starting last year, and when I got to the point of retiring, the retirement would be almost 3 times as much money. Yeah. So the current players, they're making a lot more money. Their retirement is bigger. But when I was playing, all they talked about was, you guys are getting all the money. So,
well, Gene, we have a bonus for you, don't we, here, Gil?
Absolutely. We want you to make your family and go to Bricktown on us.
Oh, wow. Great. Well, Bricktown's a great friend of the NFL Players Association, Brad Groh and his group. As a matter of fact, I just talked to him today over at the Pepperoni Grill in Edmond. We're scheduling our next NFL Players meeting over there, so they're always good to us. Really good place.
Thanks for stepping in for the Big O.
Thank you.
The late scratch did a great job for us, Gene. Thank you, my friend.
Gene, good to see you.
Good to see y'all. Thank you.
Well, again, we're going to be talking to a Tulsa NFL referee when we come back. They're here, they're new, they're Bricktown's Brick Twisted Foods. And listen to this lineup of some exciting new type foods at Bricktown Brewery restaurants. How about this? Pork green chili tachos. That's right, tachos. Homemade tater tots, top of pulled pork, green chili, cheese, bacon, cilantro, on top with a fried egg. Ooh, yeah. Hot fig and goat cheese dip as well. Also have their fried chickpea salad, protein salad bowl, steak and cheddar sandwich. All at Bricktown Brewery. Get and try the twisted food.
Welcome to OKC's most unique casino experience. One moment you're surrounded by dazzling lights, jackpotting the latest and greatest machines in town, and the next moment, cheering home a winner in the greatest quarter horse racing show on earth. It's a truly unique 24/7 gaming experience. The only casino in the heart of OKC is the only casino that can make your heart truly race. Remington Park.
Well, Jimmy's Egg, of course, is the place to go for breakfast or lunch any time of the day, starting at 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. Jimmy's Egg, of course, with 3 locations in Tulsa, 22 company stores, 17 more in Oklahoma City. Want it really cool, though? Go to the phone and get the Jimmy's app. Jimmy's app, you just pull up whatever you want. They have coupons, they have specials, they have the entire menu. You can order online as well. Jimmy's app with Jimmy's Egg. Can't beat it.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Bricktown Brewery. And our guest now is really an individual that has a diversity of experience. He's not only a head basketball coach,
He's also a referee, and of course, the best referee I ever saw was horrible. However, Clay Martin. Clay, how are you?
Nice to see you.
How you doing?
Coach, how you doing?
That's the nicest thing everybody's ever said about me. I appreciate that.
Clay actually is a white hat in the National Football League.
You can't get bigger than that.
No, that's it.
Referee in the National Football League. First, talk about your Jenks Trojans. It was a bounce-back year for you guys.
Yeah,
nice job,
thank you.
Coach.
Thank you. It was really a good year for us, a good step in the right direction. Won 18 games this year, and we're really, really close to getting back to the state tournament where we're kind of used to being. And our senior class was phenomenal and have left us in a good place, really, to be good for the next few years.
Beat your rival Union for that regional championship, huh?
We did. It was a sweet win at the UMAC. We won't bring up the 2 times they beat us during the regular season, but it was a good win for us. A great playoff win.
Then you ran into Booker T and TPS, huh?
Golly, I'm happy, obviously, as being a Tulsa Public graduate from Nathan Hale. It's really neat that Conley and his guys were able to get that done, and what a phenomenal team.
And a TPS Hall of Famer.
That's right.
That's right. You bet. No, I tell you what, high school basketball in this area seems to be as good as it's ever been, don't you think?
I think, and so much deeper than it's been. You know, there for a while, there would be 1 or 2 teams in the area that you knew were going to be good, but I think that the depth back on the east side of the state has really come back over the last few years, and it just makes all of us better.
Well, the Frontier Conference every Tuesday and Friday is a war.
It is. You nailed it. We used to be able to, think of a couple wins a year. You can just show up and play, and by God, not anymore. Every Tuesday and Friday is a dogfight.
It is.
How many years coaching at Jenks now? Okay.
Coaching at Jenks now. Just finished my 14th as the head coach.
And talk about getting into refereeing and how you built up all the way to the National Football League.
Well, gosh, how long do we have? I tell you, I started officiating really just to make a little extra money. My wife wanted to stay at home with our young family.
Sure.
And I wasn't, making a ton of money in education. I wasn't an athletic director here like Mr. Cloud. But just started, trying to make a little extra money and started working some spring scrimmages at the University of Tulsa early on, and was working one spring day, and Gerald Austin from Conference USA stopped me after and said, "Hey, why haven't you applied? You're in our footprint." And I said, "Sir, I've just been doing this 2 years." He said, "I don't care."
Oh.
And that 3rd year, I was doing a Division I football game, and so he saw something in me and was kind of a part-time official. I worked 2 games my first year, and then 4 games, still doing high school in those off weeks, and worked Division I for 8 years, moved to referee my last 2, and did some arena football along the way. Then in 2015, Dean Blandino called me and welcomed me into the National Football League.
Wow.
I guarantee you, how is it in the National Football League? As an official, and now you're the white hat. So.
Certainly. Well, it's a blast. Mr. Coach Miller was just asking me about that, and I said, "Coach, there's so many adjectives that we could use to describe a Sunday." But it really is. You're so fortunate. There's 123 of us that get to do that and wear the shield, and 17 referees, and so you just pinch yourself every Sunday, and you're humbled that you get to do that.
Give us the breakdown of getting prepared. What your week is like when you arrive on the game site.
Oh gosh, it's, Ed Hockley told me when I got moved to referee, called me. I was on his crew for my first 2 years. He said, "Clay said, the easiest 3 hours of your week now is going to be the game." And I thought, well, what does that mean? And he said, "Listen, it's going to be everything else you're in charge of now as the referee." And so I think really just working backwards, my week starts after I leave a game, because as soon as I board that plane, I'm plugging in a thumb drive and I'm reviewing our game, and I'm watching the TV copy and making notes about our crew, and TV's kind to us on some shots that we can use to help us as a crew. And Monday it's I have to have a game report in to New York by a certain time with certain obligations that involve our calls and non-calls and those things. And Tuesday I'm putting together our pregame meeting for the crew. Wednesday's training tapes, Thursday's crew test, Friday's a travel day, Saturday's is our pregame meeting that we spend about 3 hours in, and then Sunday starts all over, and then Monday morning I'm back to work at Jenks.
There you go. Do you know Larry Nimmers?
I do, Springfield, Missouri, and an educator.
Larry Nimmers was one of our alums from Upper Iowa University.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I used to go by through there, and I liked his comment when he said, "Hey, here's the thing." He said, "They moved me up to the booth.
Yeah.
I still make what I make, and I'm cold. I'm not cold, and I'm not hot anymore."
That's right.
But how does the replay? How does that go with you guys? I mean, do you like that, or do you not like it? Or?
Well, number one, we want it to be right. Our goal is hopefully we're doing our job to prepare to nail every call we see, whether that's a pass fumble, whether that's a touching or whatever. We can give so many examples, but we want it to be right. And so replay has changed the game, of course, but in my opinion, for the better. Larry's is one of the best. I actually got to work with him this year up in the booth, and he's so good. But it just like all of us, how long does it take, or to get the shot? Sometimes we don't have all the shots that you're seeing at home, and they're going, "What in the world's taking so long? Why aren't we just?" And we saw some of that in March Madness this year. They were, people were talking about this is taking too long, but TV's really good, and our guys get on the phone right away. Here's what we're looking for. What do you have? And hopefully we want it to just stand out to us, and as we know, be that undisputable video evidence that can help us or confirm us. We like it when our calls are confirmed.
You bet.
Are they moving closer to full-time officials? They've talked about that for a number of years.
It comes up every year, and right now I think, Chris, we have about 24 full-time officials. You can apply to do that, and with my kids still being in our home, it's not something I have explored at this time. I've got one graduating now, and one that's getting close to graduating in a couple years, but who knows? It comes up, but it's there's so much more to it than just saying you're full-time. There's what salaries, what are benefits, what are time commitments, and the owners have got to come up with so many things. But I love officiating. If it ever came to that would be wonderful.
Well, Clay, you've done a great job. Very proud of you, what you've done at Jenks, but also watching you on Sunday in the National Football League.
I appreciate it.
White hat
Thank
referee.
you.
We got something for you here too.
And we want you to take your family to Bricktown on us.
And I'll be happy to do that, and so will they. Thank you very much.
And look forward to seeing you this season again too.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Harry Martin, the NFL referee, the head basketball coach at Jenks, and very proud of his efforts here. We come back, we're going to have a special guest from Oklahoma City, Craig Humphreys, the Morning Animal, is going to talk about the bet. You want to be there for that. Glad to have with us, coming all the way from Oklahoma City, our good friend Craig Humphreys. Good to see you again, my friend. How you doing?
Good to see you.
I do.
Good to see you.
Craig, of course, to us, he is Masters golf in the state of Oklahoma. How many years have you been at the Masters, and how many years have you been doing the radio there?
32, 1988, Sandy Lyle, that was my first year. So 32 years, 22 with a media pass. So.
Talk about some of your fondest memories.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't know where to start. This year would have to be among the top.
Right.
I mean, we'll probably get to that in just a second. 1992, Freddie Couples winning. I'm a big Ray Floyd fan. My wife is a big Freddie Couples fan, and that was her first Masters. So that was one of my favorites. 97 with Tiger. I mean, the historical aspect of that one. Mark O'Meara, 1990. I mean, through the 90s, I mean, with Crenshaw in 95, Greg Norman, the collapse in 96, Tafaldo, Tiger 97, O'Meara 98, Olazabal won a couple. Mickelson, obviously, 2004 was his first win, and that was a big one. He won it 3 times. So I don't know. I remember the ones back in the 80s and 90s more than I remember the ones after 2010. But
What about Jack?
Well, I didn't get to go in 1986. My first was Sandy Lyle in 1988 when he beat Calcavecchia. So the 2 right before that were pretty good, with Nicklaus in 86, which was maybe the all-timer, and then Larry Mize chipping in to beat Norman in 1987. But I went as a guest in 1988. Marsh Pittman worked on the Commodities Exchange in Chicago with a guy named Johnny Musso, who used to play for Bear Bryant, the Italian stallion. And they asked me to go down there, and we played Shoal Creek on a Thursday and went to the Masters on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I stayed for Sunday. Nice. And then the next year I had no chance to get a badge, and I got a call from a buddy, Steve Cromwell, who worked with Devon Energy, and his boss gave him 2 trophy room passes at the last minute on a Tuesday, and he called me and said, I got 2 badges here, and I said, I'll get us down there and pay for the room. I think we stayed at a Days Inn on Washington Road or something. But that was 89. And so I went the first 2 times as a guest, and I was hooked. So then I was out standing on Washington Road holding up the back of a pizza box saying, golf fan from Oklahoma, please, need 1 badge. and I begged my way in for a number of years, met some guys that run the scoreboard at number 11, and they helped me get in for a number of years, and got my media pass in 1998. And they're still inviting me, so I keep going back.
Excellent. Craig, describe the atmosphere at Augusta. As we see it on television, it's just overwhelming, the beauty of the place.
It is, and what I always tell people is you ought to go just to see the golf course. I mean, you can see the players, see golf tournaments anytime, but there's nothing like Augusta National. There's nothing like the undulations of both of the golf course and especially the greens, but like TV flattens out number 18, number 10, and so forth. When I got there, the first thing I did was run up to the 10 tee box, and I just wanted to walk the back 9 because we were familiar with that in those years. Later, they started showing the front 9, but there's just nothing like it, especially that time of year.
What effect do you think the length that they put on the course this year?
Well, on number 5 especially is what you're talking about, Gil, and they added 40 yards to that, and so it's now almost a 500-yard par 4 is pretty tough, the way it was. But it made it very interesting because that green at number 5 has a bunch of humps and bumps in it, and as far as some of those guys are having to come, hit 3 and 4 irons into the green.
Yeah.
And really, it played more like I think that McKenzie intended it to play. There were some run-up shots played in number 5 and so forth. So definitely played as one of the 2 or 3 toughest holes this year.
The Tiger Factor, of course, and boy, in great display. It's amazing, Craig, how we build up our sports heroes, tear them down, and love to build them up again.
Well, and Tiger at Augusta National, when you think back that the last time he had won there was 2005. Wow. Which is incredible. Obviously, 2009 is when the, fire hydrant and everything hit the fan. And, but, he contended a few times after that before the injuries hit. And, just to have, like I said, he hadn't won a major in over 11 years. To win at the Masters for the first time in 14 years. Truly incredible, but he knows how to win on that golf course.
Victor Hovland did his proud. The OSU golfer, sensational golfer, was a national amateur champion, and of course he's the guy that was a low amateur in the Masters, 3 under par. What a great job he did.
How about that to be in Butler Cabin when Tiger makes his comeback? That was special. He is special. Obviously, what he did at the USAM and I don't have the number of holes in front of me, but to only trail for 1 or 2 holes in the whole USAM, not only to win it, but to win it in dominating fashion. There's people that follow amateur golf a lot closer than me, but the guy, you hate to say can't miss because we've seen a lot of can't miss kids since Tiger, but this guy looks like something special. I think he's going to win a lot of money on the PGA Tour.
Well, his coach said he went over to Norway to look at another kid. And he saw this kid and he said, my God, this kid is a winner. There's no question. The way he handled himself on the golf course, the way he managed the golf course, he was impressed.
Everything about him.
Perfect.
Everything is just top notch. And they have more coming. I can't wait to see Matthew Wolff play Augusta National. See what he could do with his length on that golf course.
Craig Humphreys is with us now. He is the morning voice for the Oklahoma Sports Animal at WWLS there in the city, 9 to 12. He's also known as the man who made the bet with Jim Traber. Take us through that and bring us an update. Did Traber pay off?
Traber has paid off. He's paid off not only me, but he lost 3 or 4 bets on this one. But no, the bet was made in 2011. And in 2011, Tiger had come back. Remember, 2010 Masters was his first tournament he had played that year, and so he played the rest of 2010. He was injured in the 2011 Masters, hitting a shot under the Eisenhower tree, and so remember he didn't play in the U.S. Open or the British Open that year. Tried to come back too soon, and he injured himself. Tried to come back too soon and wasn't ready, and played at Firestone where he's won 8 times, but played at Firestone, played the PGA, was terrible. And that's right after that PGA where Jim said he was done, said Tiger is done. And I said he's not done, he's just injured. If he's healthy, he will play good golf again. So we argued about it, and we decided the way to decide it was, he bet that he would never win another major. So that was in August of 2011.
He came back, he won 3 times in 2012, he won 5 times in 2013, was player of the year, back to number 1 in the world. He just didn't win a major, and then he got hurt at the end of 2013, injured his back, had the back surgery, announced right before the Masters 2014 he was going to have to miss the Masters, and ended up missing the Masters US Open that year. That was the first of 4 surgeries, and ended up trying to play hurt in 14 and 15. 16 and 17, he didn't even play a major. And so obviously it had been, the bet was made in 2011, it had been 7.5, almost 8 years since the bet was made. Traber has given, I bet him $200 that he would win a major. He later, at the end of 2017, December of 17, when he came back, he was playing in the Hero World Challenge. Tiger hit a drive 340 yards, and Traber was saying, this is just an exhibition. People are getting way too carried away. I said, 340 is 340. And so he said, you want to bet that he'll ever win a tour event? I said, any tour event? He said, yeah, a regular PGA Tour event. I said, sure, you're on. So we bet another $200 on any tour event. So I collected on that last year at the Tour Championship, and obviously collected on the major this year. Mark Rogers was part of that, one of our producers who we call the Missile. He was part of it. He lost a bet to Jim Woodward, a teaching pro at Oak Tree National. Woody said he would win last year, and he did. So, Traber, Traber plays a lot of poker on the side.
Yeah.
And we're giving him a hard time at the station, saying that we hope he's better against his poker players than he is against the guys at the station. So
the greatest bet in human history on this planet or any other planet was this place there. But I understand the money most has gone to the First Tee program over there too.
Well, that's what he was supposed to write the check to the First Tee. He ended up leaving $200 with our program manager. But yeah, we do. The First Tee program is alive and well in Oklahoma City, and we would appreciate Traber's support anytime.
Got something for you here, Craig.
We want you to go to Bricktown on us.
Hey, thank you very much.
A lot of locations, Oklahoma City, enjoy. Thanks for coming
I
on, Craig.
appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thank you, Gil. Appreciate it.
Roughnecks soccer. We're going to be talking to the Tulsa Roughnecks coming on with us here, and more coming up on Oklahoma Sportscene for Bricktown Brewery. Stay with us.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Remington Park is now officially open around the clock. That's right, we are 24/7.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
So when we say the party never ends, you better believe it. Remington Park, now open 24/7.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jenks, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Hey, good news. Our Tulsa Roughnecks are finally back home for just a little while. Have a match on Wednesday night, but the big one is coming up on Saturday. Host the rival Oklahoma City, and to talk about it, Wayne Farmer, the general manager of our Tulsa Roughnecks, and Mallan Roberts, he's their center back, number 15 for you Roughnecks fans. Wayne, good to have you with us. Talk about the big events coming up on Saturday for the Roughnecks.
Yeah, big one Saturday, playing Oklahoma City Energy, hosting them at One Oak Field. Kickoff's at 7 o'clock, and got some good guests, some good things going on. We've got fireworks after the game. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce going to be there, and GT Bynum and Mayor Holt have confirmed they're going to be walking out their teams.
And you said they've got a little wager between Oklahoma City and Tulsa?
Yeah, so the mayors have been real supportive of the derby. The losing team's mayor, after the home and the away tie, will have to wear the other city's jersey and take a picture in front of a local monument. Yeah.
That'll be great. Wow. So, but we got a match before that on Wednesday night.
Yes, that's right.
What do you think about that one, Mallan?
It's going to be a big game for us. I think, we need to bounce back from our last 2 results on the road. So hopefully we'll get a W and then we'll be ready for Saturday.
Mallan, give us some of your background. Sierra Leone to Canada, that's quite a jump.
Yes, big culture shock, but grew up in West Africa, Sierra Leone, and moved with my dad when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and been traveling since, playing professional football.
Played on the Canadian national team, and then Wayne, talk about your interest in this young man, how you picked him up for the Roughnecks.
Yeah, so Mallan's a new player we brought in, had really good USL experience, and a lot of people had said some really good things about him, his age, and just how he carries himself. Very good cultured individual with very good character, and like we said before with Coach Ensian, it's really important for us to bring in people with the right character that would care about and represent the city, and Mallan's been doing that. He's played every minute of every game representing this city.
It's great.
That's one of the things you've been out of town for a while. How does that work with your crowd when you expect one on Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's a good challenge. We've had a good 3-4 week lead up to this Oklahoma City game, so I think it's actually helped us. It would be nice to have a couple more games during the summer, but obviously it's a busy baseball month. But the team will be away working hard, and then we'll be back June 1st to play against Austin.
Yeah, I was saying, do not miss that game Saturday when they host Oklahoma City, because 7 o'clock, and your Roughnecks won't be back for a home game until June the 1st, mostly again because of the busy baseball schedule, One Oak Field. So this is a big match, one of the biggest of the year. Get out and support the Tulsa Roughnecks. You guys have been so busy in the community. Every time I get a release from the Roughnecks, you're teaming up with this football club, that football club, and also interested in your involvement also with the Latin American community here too.
Yeah, so it was important for us that the players become a part of the community. Many people have said about the great Roughnecks that were in the 80s and how people knew their names and restaurants knew them. And we wanted to do our own little spin on that. So we've been very busy in the youth soccer community, done clinics with practically every major youth club, and then say they're the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It was really important for us with the Hispanic community and culture in Tulsa, and making that game theirs. Our biggest game of the year is actually their biggest game, being the Hispanic Chamber. And
the Metro Tulsa Soccer Club, right, along with Broken Arrow Soccer Club, and giving these kids a chance for the Wednesday game, get into a match free, right? Professional soccer.
So Broken Arrow Soccer Club and MTSC, they're the two largest recreational soccer clubs. So those volunteers do everything to make sure kids can play soccer for free, and it's some of their first steps into the game that we love. So for us, it was great to make that partnership where we can show them professional soccer, some of the best players and best center backs in the league, and kids can come out and see how the pros do it for free.
Wow.
I saw a presentation here about 2 weeks ago from Ray Hoyt from the Tulsa Sports Commission about the footprint for downtown and what they're looking at all the different facilities and everything. And one of the things they mentioned was the new soccer stadium. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no comment. No, we'd be very supportive of it. Obviously, we're playing out of One Oak right now, and it's a fantastic venue. But I think Tulsa would definitely support a downtown soccer stadium. I know the soccer fan base would, and the game's always getting bigger. I mean, there's more kids playing recreational soccer, competitive soccer with TSC Hurricane doing amazing things. It's just growing and growing.
Wayne Farmer, General Manager of the Tulsa Roughnecks, and here along with us is Mallan Roberts. Mallan, talk about the emphasis on the youth, why it's so important to work on the youth and get them excited about the game.
I think, like Wayne is saying, it's the world's game. And myself, I came from a youth academy, and I had the dream of playing on the first team in a professional environment. And if we didn't have the youth system, I wouldn't be right here sitting with you guys today. So it's very important. There are a lot of youths very interested in Tulsa that I've seen. We've done some clinics and stuff, and it's important because we can't play forever, so they need to carry on eventually.
Is the United States finally catching up with the world, do you think? I know we were so embarrassed to not make the World Cup last year.
I think
last
so.
2 years ago,
Yes, I think so. I think the youth system is very good. The under-17 program, under-20s. They do beat us sometimes, Canada a few times. We know we've lost some games to them. But it shows that the development and, they put in the commitment, the money, and the resources. So it definitely has paid off.
Wayne, international soccer keeps going and going, and the USA finally is making some big strides, it looks like.
Yeah, U.S. soccer is doing better and better. Hopefully they've got a coach who can take him to the next World Cup. But Mallan's Canadian and I'm Welsh, so it's fun watching from the outside.
So as we get into that Olympic sport and it comes on, what would be the keys to get the USA to be where they could be more competitive?
I think they've just got to buy into a system and stop changing what they're doing. development something long term. It's not going to change overnight in a year or two. So I think they need to stick with the system they have now, and whether that kid's 12-year-old, 14-year-old, and just keep consistent with his coaching, his development, ready for when he makes the U.S. national team.
Well, describe your position as center back. Watching you guys watching the pitch now, number 15. What should we be watching for, and what is your main responsibilities in the center there?
Give a friendly answer, okay?
Yeah.
Organization, lots of discipline. Need to really concentrate for 90 minutes, make sure the guys in front of us are doing their jobs, and we try our best to keep the ball out of the net, and sometimes occasionally score. And just lots of communication from us and the goalkeepers. And
how much running is involved in a professional match? How many miles?
I think in my position we can sometimes go between, depending on the game, maybe 7 or 8. But I think the midfielders will top off maybe about sometimes 12 to 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so quite a bit of running.
So no timeouts either, go.
No huddles, no timeouts.
No, 45 minutes break.
And in the middle of the summer in Oklahoma when it gets to be 100 degrees.
That's.
Well, give us again the highlights of the match Saturday night, and talk about the event and what do you have planned for Oklahoma City coming to town.
Yes, there's going to be a tailgate downtown, down at One Oak Field. Gates will open at 6 and kickoffs at 7. We'll have Mayor Holt and Mayor Bynum walking out their teams, and it's going to be great. We've got a lot of the Hispanic Chamber businesses will be around the concourse, so showing local business, and people have the opportunity to support local business. And then we'll have fireworks following the game when the Roughnecks win that match.
Roughnecks General Manager Wayne Farber and their star center forward here, Mallan Roberts. Guys, thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sportscene. We have a gift for you guys.
Enjoy yourself at Bricktown.
And one for you too, Mallan. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. We come back. Larry Miller is opening a second swim school in Tulsa. If you're swimming, you probably learned how to swim from Larry Miller. Back with that on Oklahoma Sportscene here at Bricktown Brewery in South Tulsa.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
I bring Tulsa's voice to Oklahoma City and Washington. I build relationships with elected officials and community stakeholders to develop policies that grow the Tulsa region. I loved my time at Rider State University. The personal relationships I developed with professors really helped develop a skill set that would help me serve the Tulsa region that I care about. It all started for me at Rider State University.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Bricktown Brewery, and we got a special guest, Larry Miller, Coach Larry Miller, who'll be opening his second swim school. And Larry, I tell you, is there anybody in Tulsa you haven't taught to swim?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Congratulations on your second store coming up.
23 years at your original school there on 64 155, right? South Mingo.
15.
And 15 South Mingo. And again, the number of people you have coached through the years swimming, all the ages, it's got to be incredible. Any idea how many through the years?
We don't have an idea. We're saying 200 and some thousand.
Wow, 200,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't believe the enrollment we have year round.
Sure.
And we've been doing this almost 60 years.
Oh my
Does that make you feel old?
Very old, yes, it does.
Well, obviously, you got a need for a second school. Tell us about your new location in Jenks.
The new location is 551 West 91st Street. You don't have a hard time finding it. It's a great big blue and yellow building, and we have some real unique features. The pool is a bit larger than what we have now. We have sliding glass doors going in, helping those parents with baby buggies and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And we have water that's going to be clear as a crystal. We have UV light, which kills everything in the water. The worst thing you can get is cryptosporium, and it kills that. It's a beautiful facility inside where the parents watch. We have glass 12, 14 feet high and clear to the floor without any aluminum extrusions, just plain glass. And we have 14, 15 dressing rooms. And the kids will take all their showers on deck, and it's all very friendly. So when they get through taking a shower, they go through the door, the moms go back to their dressing room, and they have individual dressing rooms.
Well, that's neat. Now you have these lessons, Larry. How early do you start? In
6 months, a little
6
bit
months,
earlier.
really?
Yeah.
And up to
your age.
80?
Your age.
Oh, that old?
we have a lot of adults.
No, but that go.
Yeah.
That's great. 6 months old.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Tell us about the plans for the opening April 26th and really a weekend of celebration.
It's ribbon cutting. It's all free. We trying to introduce them to the school, and we'll have cookies or what Sarah decides to have. That's my granddaughter.
Yeah.
And just to get the people acquainted with the facility.
And a very special guest, an Olympian, right?
That's exactly right. In fact, I worked with him.
Rowdy Gaines.
Rowdy Gaines. I worked with him in the places in Seattle, in the Goodwill games.
I see.
I did the international broadcast feed for Turner Broadcasting, and he was there.
All right.
3-time Olympic gold medalist in freestyle. He also, of course, is a member of the International Swimming Hall of Fame, the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, and now you know him best as an ESPN and NBC analyst at the Olympics. He's called all the Olympic swimming since the 1996 games. So I tell you, it's ought to be a great weekend for you.
It is, and we welcome you all to come out.
We'll be there.
You know what we ought to do is do a show from down there.
That'd be fun sometime.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in doing
You
that?
bet.
Would you be interested in being a sponsor?
Well, I might do that.
We have some for you though, Larry, right now.
You bet
can
you,
come and
Larry.
take a time
We
with
want
us
you to
here.
come back to Bricktown anytime on us.
And I appreciate you all inviting me tonight.
Hey,
we're
and
glad.
great opening. We'll be there.
We want all of you to come down and visit us.
Miller Swim School, and got to come be part of it. 6 months up to our age, right?
All right, right. There we go.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Larry Miller, Remington Park, parting shots coming right up. See you, Coach.
See ya.
They're here, they're new, they're Bricktown's Brick Twisted Foods. And listen to this lineup of some exciting new type foods at Bricktown Brewery restaurants. How about this? Pork green chili tachos. That's right, tachos. Homemade tater tots, top of pulled pork, green chili, cheese, bacon, cilantro, and top with a fried egg. Ooh, yeah. Hot fig and goat cheese dip as well. Also have their fried chickpea salad, protein salad bowl, steak and cheddar sandwich. All at Bricktown Brewery. Get and try the twisted food.
30 years ago, a race began along a quarter-mile of dirt and dreams in Oklahoma City. Today, with the biggest prize money and the best horses, that glittering quarter-mile is home to the best quarter horse racing on earth. Remington Park proudly presents our biggest quarter horse season ever, celebrating 30 years of hard racing fun. World's best, OKC's own, Remington Park.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Time now for our Remington report. We'll recap the rich Remington Park Futurity and also take a look at the Remington Park Derby, featuring last year's All-American Futurity winner. Here's Dale Day.
Remington Park held its second Futurity night of the season on Saturday, April 20th, with Oklahoma breds in the spotlight for the Remington Park Futurity. The top qualifiers from 2 nights of qualifying for the Remington Park Futurity were Lotta Shakin' Going On and Uptown Babe. They're off in the Remington Park Futurity. Great start for Uptown Babe, a trace of sign. Also right there, Celebrity. Johnny DeCapo came away sharply. Farther out, digging in. Here's a lot of shaking and going on. It's Uptown Babe and Johnny DeCapo. They're nose to nose. A lot of shaking and going on. Still to be heard from outside. Johnny DeCapo trying to hold on. Johnny DeCapo. Johnny DeCapo had a great start and last all the way at 330 yards to pull the upset in the Remington Park Futurity under Gaspar Garcia. Juan Contreras of Irving, Texas, the owner and breeder. Oscar Nunez, the trainer for Johnny DeCapo. Second was number 7, a lot of shaking going on, one of the top qualifiers. And also third, number 3, Uptown Babe, one of the other top qualifiers. Fourth was number 1, a trace of sign. Remington Park Futurity to Johnny DeCapo. The 3-year-old Oklahoma breds followed the Futurity race in the Remington Park Derby. 2018 All-American Futurity winner Apocalyptical Jess was the top qualifier in Derby trials on April 7th. The millionaire would face quality rivals including Linder 16, who he beat in last year's All-American. They're off in the Remington Park Derby. Clean start for Apocalyptical Jess, out there on the lead early by a neck. Chase to the outside, gaining ground is What a Flash. Farther out, Linder 16 trying to move up third. So far, it's all Apocalyptical Jess. 150 yards to go. Apocalyptical Jess is out by 3. The All-American Futurity winner winning the Remington Park Derby easily by 2 and change. The Remington Park Derby almost over from the start. Apocalyptical Jess had a brilliant beginning and just expanded his lead out by over 3 lengths at one point, cruising home easily to victory at 400 yards under Ricky Ramirez. The All-American Futurity winner looking good in his 2 starts this season at Remington Park. Up for second, What a Flash, and the third, the 10, Linder 16. Number 9, Tempting Secret Fly, edged out for third, has to settle for fourth. Apocalyptical Jess scores the Remington Park Derby in a brilliant performance. We have reached the halfway point of the 2019 American Quarter Horse Paint and Appaloosa season at Remington Park, and we still have plenty of big events ready for you in the second half, including Extreme Race Day coming up on Sunday, April 28th, as the camels, ostriches, zebras, and more take part on the racetrack along with the racehorses. Don't forget a special race card coming up on Monday, April 29th, first race at 11:30 a.m. That's a makeup day for a date lost due to heavy weather and rain a couple of weeks ago. Then on Saturday, May 4th, Kentucky Derby Saturday. First race at Remington Park is at noon. Simulcast for the Run for the Roses is at 5:30 p.m. In Oklahoma City at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
Live horse racing continues at Remington Park through June the 1st, Thursday through Saturday at 6 p.m. and post time on Sunday afternoons at 1:30. Time now for our parting shots. Coach Cloud, lead us off.
I want to do a shout out to Mike Mims, a good friend and longtime coach in the state of Oklahoma. Just announced that he will receive the Tulsa World Lifetime of Achievement Award. What a great award for Mike Mims and all the kids that he's come in contact with, both at the high school level as a coach and as an administrator, as the dean, as an athletic director, and then the 12 years he spent at the University of Oklahoma as Billy Tubbs' assistant. Congratulations, Mike Mims. Job well done.
And that Tulsa World Lifetime Achievement Award, by the way, will be part of the Tulsa World's Outstanding All-World Awards Banquet. It's held on June 22nd at the Tulsa Marriott Hotel. They do a great job. Get out and support that as well. Well, my parting shot has to be looking ahead to the first Saturday in May. That, of course, means the Kentucky Derby. It's one of the bucket list sports events for any sports fans, and it truly is something magical. It is the longest continuously run sporting event in this country. And, of course, this year there's been another full field, a lot of Derby horses there that probably shouldn't be in the field, but they only get one shot. As a 3-year-old, that's the only time you get to run in the Kentucky Derby. That means it's got to be everything perfect on that first Saturday in May. So it should be a great event. Big field, and Barrett has a big field of horses in there as well. The guy has won last year's Derby Justify. He's had the last 2 of the last 3 have won, of course, the Triple Crown as well. So look for a Bob Baffert horse. But my pick has to be strictly a hunch pick. It's Omaha Beach, the Arkansas Derby winner. Why is that? Well, this year is the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Can't beat that. Omaha Beach, the Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May. Enjoy it. Well, Gil, we can't leave without the big story, the sports story. Talk about your granddaughter again, undefeated.
Biggest sport, they're 9-0. They played in the tournament in Muskogee this past weekend, and they scored 49 runs while allowing only 14. And, of course, Miss Kylie had a walk-off double, and she couldn't understand why that she had to end up on second base because they only score 5 runs an inning. And so she drove in 3 runs, which were the 5. Yeah. So she was mad when she had to come off the field. She said, I want to score, but they've done a really good job with those kids, and they're having a great time, and it's always fun to go see your grandkids play.
And they got a pretty good coach, right?
They got a pretty good coach. I've worked with him a lot through the 43 years that he's been on this planet. But Matt's done a good job. Clay Davis and Coach Frisbee from the high school, they've done really good work with those girls. Well, congratulations to Kylie Cloud, and good luck to the Diamond Girls in their softball season. Thank you for joining us on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We'll see you next time.